Hello everyone, I am Nerdstalgic, and this is another Let's Play Dwarf Fortress Tradeancient Edition. So, in the last video, we kind of got some things cooking in terms of some more bedrooms because we're expecting some more migrants to come in anytime, and we made some more rock pots, we're getting some prepared meals going, we're brewing some stuff, and we had a strange mood. As you can see, we made an artifact water buffalo leather buckler, so that's very cool. In this video, I think we're going to try to find some metal. I mean, it's not going to be, our number one priority. I mean, other things could come up as well, but if we can find some, that would be fantastic. So they're still digging. So far, have not found anything. Farms are doing well. Alright. Did they make all the cages? No, they're still working on cages. Rock pot job is almost done. Let's see, are you... Nope, it's been suspended again. But that one's active. So let's go ahead and unsuspend that. Now that we have some rock pots, hopefully it will happen. Okay, so here's our food stockpile. This is actually our drink stockpile. It's almost full. So it would probably be a good idea. We don't want this to overflow because then the stuff will sit here. So let's go ahead and let's mine out a little bit more space here to add on to our drink stockpile, and that will be helpful. We absolutely don't want our food stockpiles to ever get full. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and hit another rock pot. Actually, let's go to our workshop floor, and let's set this craft store's workshop up to make rock pots on a workshop workflow constraint. So we hit Alt W, and we're going to hit A to add a limit. Pot of rock, 5 to 10 actually is pretty good for that. We hit escape, and now what will happen is, see, when you make a manager work order, what happens is it's going to try to spread out the work between the two shops. But with a workflow constraint, it's only tied to that one workshop. So this workshop will continue to make rock mugs. This workshop will make rock pots, or what else that we needed to do. I mean, eventually we're going to want to have some bolts kicking around. Alright. Okay, so our jeweler has canceled some things. That's okay. Probably want to go ahead and make... let's go ahead and set up a workflow constraint up here. Nope, not at the bowyer. Here. Okay, so we got a bunch of beds going. Why don't we, since we made a workflow constraint, why don't we cancel out all these beds, and let's add a new task to make a wooden cage, and we'll put repeat, workflow constraint, we're going to add a limit, and we don't really need 5 to 10 of these floating around, so we're going to change our range to 2 to 4. Very good. You guys done yet? Nope. Not done. So we found, looked like some gems, but not any metal. No metal. Some more petrified wood. Chances are, if there's no metal here, there's probably not going to be any metal here. So we're going to have to go down.
There's nothing more to catch.
I'm thinking we might even have to look under this underground cavern. Like on this layer here. Probably not go down to here, but go down another layer because we might hit some damp stone. What are these things? Pawn grabber. Okay, they're fairly harmless. Alright, so our militia commander canceled his hunt because he doesn't have any ammunition. So rock pot is suspended. It will unsuspend in the event that we need more. So we can go ahead and set up a workshop constraint for bolts. So we'll add a limit. Bolts of wood. Says we got 175, so he may have just ran out of them in the field. Why don't we set our constraint on this to like 50 to 100 for now? Might have to look at changing that. We'll do 75 to 100. Might have to look at changing that once we actually get a military going, because we'll be using the wooden bolts for target practice. So I anticipate that we'll go through them fairly quickly. There are ways that you can recycle bolts, but they're a little bit too involved for my liking. Alright, we do have some cloth. We could start trying to make some clothes for our dwarves, but I don't think that's necessary just yet. Do we have anything to... We could just set up some jobs here to milk animal, make cheese, oops, and shear animal. Put those on repeat. And then we'll go back through and clear them out after it becomes apparent that we've done everything we can. Turn these into bedrooms, even though we don't have doors yet. You don't actually have to put a door on here. You don't have to put a door on the room. The dwarves really don't care, but I care. Alright, so the beds have been completed. The workshop constraint should kick in, and it should go ahead and have him make some more. Alright. What else could we do right now? What else could we do? Well, what workshops don't we have? A quern, a millstone, we don't need those right now. A loom, I don't think is necessary. Metalsmith's forge, we haven't even found any metal, so there's no point. Ashery, we don't really need. Dyer, we don't need. Soap maker, we don't need. So really nothing. We have all of the workshops that we currently need. I mean, only one I could argue maybe we should go ahead and get set up now is the Metalsmith's Forge, just to get it going, so I guess we could do that. We'll put it right here next to the smelter. We got one iron anvil, we'll use the chert. I wonder how many people have accidentally used, like, their coke to build things. That would be really, really bad. I'd get really upset with that. Alright. Alright, so some more gems. Guess we could go up here and build our wall. It might be easier just to build a wall, like, around this part. Alright, let's get that set up. So we're going to hit B, and then capital C for wall, W, and then we're going to hit U a bunch of times until it basically we can't do it anymore. And we'll put it here. Yeah, it can't go over trees. You'd have to chop down the tree first. So we'll run it up to, say, here. And then it's going to need... We got plenty of stone, so we're going to build it out of stone versus wood. Okay. And you have to do each part individually here. It won't let you just do a big swath of it. I'm sure there are other ways that you could do it, but this is how I've always done it, and it's really not that bad. So we're going to use the chert again. This time it's at the top, which is good. Alright. Putting this here. It's going to take quite a bit of stone, but stone is pretty much... it's almost like a renewable resource. Now we want to make sure that we leave enough room for the caravan to get through. Because if you don't give them a 3-wide berth, then the caravan can't make it through. So I think that looks pretty good. Our goal here basically is just to defend the sides of our fortress and force enemies to come in through like a, basically like a, kind of like a tunnel. Or an alley. Right. Using up that chert. You can see it's still got 99 of it, so we're not hurting for rock. Alright, so we're gonna put it probably just to right there. So one more. Yep. And this is this won't take too long. Walls don't really take too long to make. So we'll put one more there. Now normally when I build my forts, I build kind of into the side of a mountain, so it forms kind of a natural natural bit of protection, but not doing that with this. Chirp, chirp, chirp. So we'll put one unit of wall, maybe two. And those are roots, so we don't need to put a wall there. So we could put it here and go over to here. Yeah. Okay. And then we can't, I guess we might have to go outside of our refuse here. So like right here. Alternatively, we could change our zone there. But I'll just do this. Since I'm already kind of on this screen. And we'll slot this in there. Go up to there. Yep, looks right. Just 1 second. Alright. I had to respond to a text message. And then we'll go this direction with it. What's that? Is that a goat? As you can see, we're finally getting into the chart to where it's showing that we only have such and such left. That's fine. We'll have enough. I mean, and there's tons of it. As we explore more, we're just going to generate more and more and more stone. And we need to put basically a little 2 wall here. And then probably like that's fine. And then the trade depot, the caravan should still be able to get up there. I do believe. Yeah. Okay. Boom. And now that should keep everybody fairly busy. That wall is going to take not a whole lot of time, but it's going to take some effort to get up. Alright. Let's see. Farm's okay. Suspended construction of the bed. So let's go ahead and make these bedrooms. We already did that, I guess. Okay, so that's where we were. Alright, so that should definitely put us into good shape. Okay, so we are brewing. Good. We are cooking. Good. Alright, so let's go ahead and add another food stockpile here. Now, if I wanted to be really meticulous about my stockpiles, what I would do is I would delete this stockpile and then make one bigger stockpile, but I'm kind of lazy. So we'll just add another stockpile and make it for drink. Drink only. Make sure you get to that second page here. Okay, let's see what's going on the... I guess I hit that by accident. Alright, so we can use DF hack here to see. Do I have a scene for that? Doesn't look like it. Maybe I do. Is it? Yep. Okay. So we're gonna use DF hack to dig that vein out. So the command is just dig V, and then you just have to move your cursor, and then dig V. It's just helpful. That way you just don't have to constantly micro the crap out of it. Alright, and go ahead. And we want to let them go ahead and finish up this floor before we move down to a new floor. The way that the game is coded, it's interesting. Like if you designate a bunch of floors to be dug out, it like goes from like left to right or right to left. So you'll actually see dwarves dig out part of a level, and then they will move on to another level, which isn't exactly efficient. So once this is dug out, which should be very, very soon, we are going to start digging under that cavern layer. And something that you probably, that I'll probably look at doing once we get this stone out of here, once it's all gone, is we'll actually wall off all of these passages to improve the computation time. Because as the dwarves are moving, you know, the computer, your processor is having to calculate the pathing for all these dwarves. So if there's more space for them to path through, it actually is a bigger hit on the CPU. So let's go down under this, and let's where's our stairway here? Where's our stairwell? Right there. Yeah. Okay. So let's dig. We need an up down stair. Is this already an up down stair? Yeah, it is. So I want to go down 2 layers. 2 more layers here, and then I want to mine out 20 in each direction. It's just a modest exploration here. Now we didn't do it on the layer above because we don't want to hit damp stone. Alright, so doors are done. Doors are another thing where it's pretty good to set a workflow constraint for them. Dude, I don't know what's up. Why are you not doing that? Let's go to our squad screen. So we'll hit S. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Military. And let's go to supplies, U. No. Ammunition. Yeah, ammunition. And you can actually tell the hunters what kind of bolts you want them to carry. And we really don't want the hunters to be taking metal bolts, to be honest. So let's just go ahead and let's remove the item. And let's add in, that's not really what I wanted to do. Oops. Bolts. And then we're just going to basically tell it wooden. Is what we're going to do here. Because we don't want our hunters using iron bolts. We'd prefer to save that for our military. Okay, so, alright, what else? Well, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Why is this still not here? It was suspended for some reason. Probably not a bad idea for us to go ahead and put a few more tables down. So we'll turn on planning mode, and we'll just enlarge this just by 2 on each side. And then we'll put down some chairs. Oops. Need to turn on planning mode. So I really don't care what kind of material. Now you can actually in planning mode designate, you know, only a certain quality. You can see it over here, you know, filters and min quality, and that can be useful whenever you're trying to make sure that you want to get a room's wealth, the wealth of the room up to a high level for like a noble's room or something like that. But you don't really have to worry about nobles until you get past population 50, and we're still a little ways off from that. It actually comes pretty quick once you get the hang of the game. and you're going through it pretty fast. Does not take long at all. Alright, so what's going on here? I don't see anybody in here. He's still working. Alright, so we've got that made. Great. Alright, so those are kicking along. Good. Still making rock mugs. I like to see that. Alright, might not be a bad idea also to set a wooden bin. Workshop constraint. That way we always have wooden bins for mugs to go into. So let's Alt W, and then we're going to hit A, bin of wood. 5 to 10's fine. 5 to 10's a good number. What's this corpse? Hamster remains. Okay. We should have some more gems that we can cut, and indeed we do. So we're going to cut them on repeat. Now you can cut stone, but it doesn't. It's pudding stone. I've never seen that before. You can cut stone, and it actually is a decent way of raising your stone crafting on your mug maker, but they're not going to be worth anything. Or I'm sorry, it's a good way to. It's a good way to raise your jewel crafting, but they won't be worth anything. So, and really, from what I understand, jewel crafting skill doesn't add a whole lot of value to the item. I don't know. I never really have messed with it. It could be something that I might want to look into eventually. Alright, so what's going on down here? Well, we didn't find anything. What about here? Nothing yet. What are our miners doing? Making buildings, storing an item. Gym setter has no job. So that's a down staircase, that's an up staircase. That doesn't look like an up-down staircase to me. So what we might have to do is, we might actually have to make kind of like a tunnel here. Go over a little bit and then set a new up-down staircase. The game's kind of weird about if you don't do things the first time. And then we'll remove this designation. And we'll remove this designation. Boom. Go back up. And that I think that should work. Should. If it doesn't, well, we'll go a different direction with it. Before I designate all that area, let's make sure that it's actually going to get mined out. Generally, the game itself, the menus, it's a little bit obtuse. I mean, I've been playing the game for quite a while, and I still run into things where I don't really know, what's happening. But usually what I've found is whenever I figure out what actually went wrong, it's user error, me doing something wrong. It's like right now, like nobody's coming down here to mine this, which leads me to believe that they can't get to it for some reason. Because normally they would come right down here. So what do we got here? Does that match up? Yeah, it matches up. So it's a downward stairway, right? Okay. And then we have an upward stairway. So I mean, it connects. I don't see why it wouldn't work that way. I don't know. We'll give it some time. It looks like we have a beastie here in our shaft. Probably just like a cave bat. Nothing really to worry about. Okay, well, I'm gonna go and pause it, and we'll put a cut in there. And in the next video, we'll try to figure out why exactly the mining isn't going down. I mean, we'll give it a little bit more time, and then we'll get it figured out. It's not going to be a big deal. And, yeah. Hopefully we'll find some metal so that we can get our metal smithing going. And because in the spring, what I'm going to want to do, if that migration wave is big enough, we're going to want to set up our first militia to protect us from, you know, elves or who knows what. So, all right, guys. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, game on.